At Gaia's Nest we follow several different approaches and philosophies. Predominantly we follow the Steiner philosophy, the Reggio Emilia approach, nature pedagogy and the RAE principles. And within those approaches or philosophies we generally take small little bits and pieces from them all and blend them together to ensure that they suit us and suit our families and their home cultures. So this is our Big Bears room. It currently caters for children in the 3 to 4 age group. They're in the middle of their morning tea routine where they do a circle time first, discuss current issues that are going on in the room or events from the day, and then they will wash their hands and come up for some shared fruit. We try to ensure that everything is kept as far down on the children's level as possible in this room, making sure that they can access spoons, plates, their lunch boxes, their drink bottles, give them as much responsibility and freedom of choice as they can. In all of our routines, children are free to choose. They get a lot of autonomy, which comes into a lot of our philosophies that we follow. Within all of these routines, educators will participate. They will sit at the table with the children. They will sit down in the circle time with the children on their level, not on a seat up higher. We aim for all of the environments to be used with real things. So for example, in our homeroom, we only use real plates and real cups and real spoons, not plastic things. The exception to that, I suppose, is that we don't use real food in there, but we do aim for that to be felted food and not plastic food. I guess again our art space in this room is designed so that the children can freely choose their art resources. The table this morning has been left as a blank canvas on purpose because they can self-select the art resources off the shelf. We can support them with any resources that are higher up that need a little bit more adult supervision. The purpose of this is that we want the children to have the autonomy to direct their own day and to design their own art experiences, not for us to tell them what we want them to do, which again links to the Reggio approach in terms of the open-ended art experiences that are offered to the children. So this is our 2 to 3 room. Originally this was our only room in the entire centre that housed the 0 to 5 age group altogether, and we've gradually expanded between 2 rooms to 3 rooms to now 4 rooms. This room's been a room we've actually struggled with when it comes to an interesting and enjoyable and meaningful environment for a very long time. Because we're not a purpose-built centre and this is just a demountable building, it has always been our painful room that we've struggled with. We feel like we've now gotten to a point where we do love our toddler room, but it definitely took us a long time to work out how to use this space in the right way for this age group. I think it's often really hard to plan for a toddler environment as well, because you want to give them lots of choice and lots of freedom, but they're also not as old as the older children who can also support you to reset those environments. So it's a bit about balancing, giving them lots of resources, but also not giving them too much to make it overwhelming for them. Currently at the moment, this age group's very into their dramatic and social play. So we will either see them doing the small world play with the props or in like the homeroom space with the babies. It's a very nurturing age group. So it's lots of putting babies to sleep and feeding babies where they're imitating what they see happen at home or figuring out how to care for another person, developing that empathy. So this is our 0 to 2 room. This room was built about 4 years ago. So this is our only purpose-built room. We do not use cots and we do not have a cot room. Children sleep on mats in the corner of the room. This was done for a number of reasons. We believe that the children should have the freedom of movement to be able to choose their bedtime and to be able to crawl off or walk off their bed as they wake up. People questioned whether this would be something that would work. In terms of the older children that are awake, would they go and trample the sleeping children? Would they wake the sleeping children? Through the modelling from our educators and through the children's natural awareness of others, that they really respect these sleeping children, and if anything they will just go and sit next to them and rub their backs or pat their backs while they're sleeping. This is actually a classic. One of our practices in this room is that children that are less verbal, we sportscast for them. I can see that you're worried about this, let's move away from here, or I can see that you don't want to get your nappy changed today, I'm going to come back for you in 5 minutes. Another difference to our room that's probably less mainstream is that we don't have any high chairs. If children are too young to sit by themselves, they are held for meals. We find that that is a lot more respectful and intimate in our relationships with the babies, rather than sitting them in a high chair where they have no autonomy to get up and down as they please. Again, the children in this room are offered real things and not fake things. You won't find lots of plastic toys in this room, and you will find lots of seemingly random loose parts, just, as you can see, sticks and rocks and pine cones for them to investigate. But we feel like as babies they are exploring the world around them, and these are the things that are more meaningful to them because these are the things that they are actually exploring in their daily lives. A big part of what we talk about, especially in this room but in all of our rooms, is not just the physical environment and how that supports children, but the dynamic environment. And that links to what does the room sound like, what does the room smell like. So we use diffusers in the rooms, but we also talk about the dynamic environment in terms of our practices. So how are we moving throughout the space? Are we contributing to the volume of the room, or are we contributing to the calm of the room? Or are we flowing and moving in a calmer way that supports the children to pick up on those intentions from us?